Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for all being here for this wonderful, wonderful day. The good news is that the bridge behind us has given us extraordinary service over the years. The even better news is that we have a new one coming right behind it for the future of Anderson. And this has been a collaborative effort that everybody has been one team on. Nobody's worried about politics or turf or anything like that. This has been all in, Madison County, everybody together as one group. I want to thank Mayor Broderick, and I also want to thank Mayor Smith, who worked so hard for so many years to make this happen. To Commissioners Richwine and Owens and Hardin, thank you for all your hard work. To State Senator Tim Lannon and Representative Terry Austin. This has truly been one shoulder. Well, the bridge is going to last longer than that sign did. This has been one shoulder to the wheel. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in our first year. I also want to thank my partner on the federal level, Congresswoman Susan Brooks, who was a terrific partner in this effort and who also worked with us so hard to get this done. This is a real testament not only to the future of our region, but to the quality of the work done by all of the folks who represent you here. As they well know, this is a very, very competitive program. And it is very few grants, these Tiger grants, that get made. But the quality of this grant, the necessity for this grant, and the fact that every dollar is well spent pretty much stood out on its own and told us that this is something that should be done, and told the Department of Transportation and Secretary Fox that this was a critical piece of building America and preserving our future. And so to all of you, I want to say how fortunate I feel to represent this region, to represent our state, and to tell you how lucky you are with the people who do represent you, because the only question that was ever asked in this whole process was, how can we help to try to make this happen? And so thank you for letting me be part of this, and thank you for letting me be your teammate on this effort. Thanks very, very much.
I was just telling John, I said, in all the years that I've been on this stage playing music, and I've played music on this many times. I've never been up here in this official capacity. But let me say, it is an honor to be here and to represent this community as a commissioner. We've worked hard for 8 years applying for this grant, going to Washington, knocking on doors, knocking down doors. In some cases, our last trip when I was with the chamber, and Mr. Coates opened his office door and seen about 27 people sitting in there, and he just, eyes got about that big and says, "You people don't stop, do you?" And no, we don't. You know, this was so important to our community. And Senator Donelly, we thank you for being the torch carrier in this, because you've been behind us all the way in this, and we are grateful for that. I went to Washington twice this spring, myself and Mayor Broderick and our county engineer Chuck Lesser and David Ikes. The mayor's seen the importance and the need and wanted to contribute everything he could to getting this bridge. So we went and we hit them pretty hard again and told them we're here, and this is why we're here, and we need your help, and we're not going to leave, and we're just going to keep on coming back. And it was a very successful trip, and it wasn't a month later that we went again, and guests of the chamber, and it was just a great day we had, and did the same thing, seen the same people, you know, and pled our case and told them how important this is to our community. And you know, there's communities out there with larger, bigger, fancier things that they wanted, you know, and it's like Mayor Broderick said, well, hey, we just want a bridge. We just need a bridge. And we do. This is our blood to this community right here. This road enables so many people to get to work, to get to the hospital, to get to the things they need. So what I want to do today is just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everything that you all did. When we asked you to call, you called, and you went to Washington, and we worked together. And I found out through the years, in my years of public service, that it's just, that D and the R don't mean nothing. And when we get together and we work together, we accomplish things. And this is a prime example right here of what we have accomplished for this community, for the betterment of this community. And I just think that, you know, when we take the compassion and our integrity and our desire, and we all work together for the good, and we give it all to our community, and give it all to our country, and give it all to our God, then everything's going to work out right. So I just want to thank you all. And I can't leave this podium without thanking Chuck Lesser. You know, we can stand up here. We can stand up here and, you know, say, oh man, look what we did. We didn't do it without him. His hard work every year, putting this application together. I mean, that's no easy process. And his desire and his steadfastness just to stick to it and stick to it. You know, Chuck, maybe it should be the Chuck Lesser Bridge when we're done. I don't know. You know, we talk about names we put on, but I'm saying he's more important than anybody on this if you really want to get down to it. And our good friend Bill Hanka that come from Washington to be here with us today. My gosh. Man, he goes to work for you. But you know what's happened? We've developed such a good friendship too. And all this, us working together, has brought us all that much closer in our love for this community and for what we do. So I'm going to quit now, but I just want to say thank you all for everything you do for this community.
I too want to just right off the bat point out the effect that Chuck Lesser had on this project. As we were thanking everybody, and Jeff finally picked that up at the back, Chuck came to us right after they announced that they were going to have Tiger Grant opportunities, and we had the discussion, the three commissioners and Chuck, about whether we should apply or not, what we thought our opportunities and chances might be. And we were skeptical, but then we brought in Bill Hanka and spoke to him, and we're still skeptical but optimistic, and so we hired Bill to help represent us and try and get us pushed in the right direction and be able to talk to the right individuals and do the right thing. And obviously at the end of the day it took a long time, but we got there. But without his perseverance, Chuck's thoughtfulness, and his exercise and due diligence in continuing this, we wouldn't be here today. We had to stand at this last application and look each other in the face and decide whether we really wanted to progress one more time after 7 years of putting a lot of effort and a lot of finances into trying to get something that, you know, at that point, you got to wonder whether you're ever really going to get it or not. And we decided one more chance. Everybody's on board. Madison County is on board once again, like they always are. And as Jeff and the senators said, we put things aside here. You know, we've got elections and we do what we got to do. But when push comes to shove, we all stand together and we get it done. And we've got lots and lots of examples here in Madison County of us getting it done. Other counties don't have that. We should stand and be proud about that. And once again, at the end of the day, after 8 tries, we got her done. So congratulations, Madison County. Thank you to everyone, the Anderson Chamber, everybody, county council folks that picked up the phone and made a phone call, sent a letter. It was very important. So thank you one and all.
Well, first off, let me again thank Senator Donelly for all that you did to help take us through this path and get us to where we needed to be. Thank you so very much. And also I'd like to acknowledge Chuck as well. Chuck really was the person when we were in Washington talking to various folks who understood all the technical details of the bridge, and he understood the long road that had been on, so to speak, and he helped so much in bringing that message across. And I'd like to thank my friends John and Jeff here, who I've had the pleasure of working with on the county council, and now reaching across the line, if you will, from city government to county government. I think that's the real message for today that is so important, is that how so many people came together and put aside, as John said, this wasn't about party labels. This was a true bipartisan effort on behalf of the city and the county government and our partners at the federal level who work together to get this done. When we went and met, as was pointed out, with Senator Coates, and he saw everyone walk in, again, he just said, you guys are persistent. And that was the key. The people of Anderson, Madison County are persistent people who stick together. I look at all of you out here, and really without hardly any exception, everyone out here had a great deal to do with what we're going to see built here in the next few months. I look out, and in some ways, I see a lot of folks that traveled to Washington. And I think it sounds like it's time for another trip, right, Mike? I mean, and I just want to say that other than what we've been discussing, what happens in Washington stays in Washington, right? No, I just want to tell you that it's a great honor to be here as mayor and to have such a great project that comes about on my watch, knowing how many years that folks worked so hard. This really was a collective effort of folks not only in government, but those of you that are here today in business. Community Hospital stepped up and did a great deal. Beth and Tom, we appreciate everything that you did. The council of governments, Jerry is here. The folks worked so hard. The folks out at Flagship and also out at the economic development with Chuck and Rob. There's so many people came to the table and helped get this done. And we appreciate so very much those efforts. And so on behalf of the folks of the City of Anderson, let me just say to all of you, thank you so very much. We look forward to working with you on future projects as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. That was, I think, a very great way to acknowledge the team effort that we had here, and everybody's spoken about that. I'm Tim Lannon, State Senator, and really I made a couple of phone calls and sent some letters, but really the tribute does go to this team that you have in back of you. And in fact, I made my phone call out there, and we do need to thank Secretary Fox, who came through for us in this case. And I made the call, and one of his representatives returned the call to me and said, well, let me just ask you, just how old is that bridge? And I said, well, the bad news is it's old. It's 47 years old. The good news is it's not as old as I am. I remember when the thing was built and lived with how important that bridge is. And you know, there's an old saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Well, luckily for us, this bridge was never gone. But you know, there were times when we had to think about what would we do if we didn't have that bridge. The condition was getting to that point. And you think of, what does a bridge do? You know, well, we've talked about, and I know the team continually talked about the importance of the bridge to our commerce here in the city, how it is a connector of commerce for the city of Anderson. But above and beyond that, it's a connector of community for us as well. And if you don't have that bridge, then there's a portion of your community that becomes disconnected. And we don't want to be disconnected in this community. We're all here together, working together. So this bridge, it's vitally important to what goes on in this community. To this group of people up here and the people out here that made it happen, it is a tribute to you. It's really a tribute to persistence. It would have been easy after the 4th or 5th or 6th or even 7th time that you got turned down to say, you know, what's the use? But you kept at it. And Senator Donelly, thank you. Thank you for your help in this. And if there ever was a example of how you can get something done when you put aside all of the things that usually, at least sometimes, divide us, and you work together, you can stay connected. So thank you very much, and congratulations to everyone. And now we'll hear from State Representative Terry Austin.
Thank you, Tim. Well, I just have one question for you, Chuck Lesser. Now that you've got the 8th Street Bridge, are you going to go to Disney World tomorrow? You deserve a break. Chuck's been working on this project for 10 years. 10 years. And I said to him, now that you've got it, what are you going to do with the rest of your time? So I have a feeling that he'll find plenty of things to do. And I know that he plays such an important role in not only our county government structure, but also in helping to establish partnerships in this community and in this region. You know, Tim talked a little bit about why this bridge is such an important component of not only our local commerce and our structure as a city, you know, east to west, and the things that go on Park Place neighborhood to the downtown area. But it's also a tremendous statewide asset. because it's one of the major connectors between I-65 and I-69. And that is important to the logistics and distribution industry within our state and all the folks who rely on robust infrastructure to move their goods and products from one place to another. I also think, and Chuck, everybody stole all the words out of my mouth because I was going to thank you too. You have been tenacious and diligent and passionate about this project. But I also want to take a minute and thank the folks at the county government structure. Those of us who worked at the state level for several years know what a difficult time it's been to find road funding and to find adequate road funding that gives us a long-term solution. And I want to say it's hats off to our county level folks at the county council and in the county commissioner's office who had the foresight and the political will to step up and say, we're going to have a wheel tax in Madison County. I know it generates about $2 million a year. It's not enough, but at least it helps us, it helps demonstrate that we are willing to put our own skin in this game. And that's what state level officials look for, that's what federal officials look for, and that's what we will continue to do here in Madison County so well. It's bridging that gap between the different levels of government, local, whether you're city or town, county, the Madison County government structure, state and federal. And it's just another example, like we have so many with the flagship and others, of what really happens when we don't think of ourselves as governmental silos, but we're all basically working for the same team. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks for giving me a chance to be a part of this.
So thank you again for inviting me, and to Chuck and Bill. This is a great day. You've done extraordinary things, and we all plan to be back for the groundbreaking, and then for the ribbon cutting, and then for Chuck to drive across in a new Corvette as the first car to go through. But to all of our county officials, thank you for everything. To all of the folks who came out to D.C. time after time when we looked at each other after it didn't work out and said, look, you know, next year may be the year. Let's keep after it. And I just want to mention one other person, Carl Erskine, who found out that I was a huge baseball fan. And Carl was kind enough to give me a signed baseball. And he said, I have a baseball for you. But the unsigned or the unsaid sentence afterwards was, I now expect the bridge in return. He's been a dear friend and a kind friend. And I say that jokingly. He didn't say he wanted the bridge. I know he was thinking of it, but he didn't say it. But this is a team effort. And we all look forward to being here for the groundbreaking and for the very, very, very great future that Anderson and Madison County has ahead of us. You can feel it. And it's going to be great years ahead. Thanks very much. Thank you.